So it looks like the media is starting to betray AH as they cover AH getting called out in a lawsuit in which one of her paid team members is getting sued. And this betrayal is a fascinating one. Why? Because I'm sure, was promised that this would never happen. In fact, this paid team member brags online saying, "We've been featured in 85 different news outlets. The media, they're on our side." Yeah, not only does not get her money's worth because this is getting covered, but get this, they link to the lawsuit itself, a lawsuit that very clearly defines why paid these people, saying that this place, it was little more than a digital attack dog disguised as providing empirical evidence. She needed that. She needed it to reframe Virginia. You and I were going to talk about all of this stuff today, too. Oh, man. Fun times, huh? Fun times indeed. All right, so hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day, by the way. I hope you are doing excellently. Now, as far as betrayal is concerned, I mean, this seems really legit. I mean, if you look up being called out in a brand new lawsuit that's dropped over the last few days, or you look up a paid team member with getting sued in Bot Sentinel, you know what you'll find? No articles have popped up before this one. I mean, it's like, that would be newsworthy, right? Adding veracity to the claim that hired this company not only because they would put spin, but because they had connection with the mainstream media. I mean, they brag about it all the time, saying mainstream media, they're their pals. In fact, 85 news outlets have cited their research. No other company in this space even comes close. Yeah, anyone stepping out of line would be the ultimate betrayal, right? Now, what I would say makes this even a bigger betrayal is the person writing this, they did research. I think that's a no-no these days. What did they find? Well, they found out that this company that loves to deny their connection with they actually admitted this on their website. I mean, this is noted right here in the article. Bot Sentinel was previously hired by AH's legal team to examine social media activity against the actress who went up against JD in a high-profile defamation trial this year, according to its website. Now, that's 100% legit, by the way. All you have to do is look at the website. You can see it spelled out, and yet the places that cover that so-called research, the 85 that are listed, they don't like to note that at all. Nor do they like to go as far as this does, continuing by saying, following a verdict largely in JD's favor, Bot Sentinel, they issued a July report regarding quote-unquote platform manipulation on Twitter with respect to criticism of The report, which said it was not paid for by or anyone from her legal team, it received media coverage. It received a lot of media coverage, by the way. It put bullseyes on people. I dealt with that from this myself. Plus, there was a later report that came up, and you'll notice they're listing that right here as they follow. In Nate the lawyer's complaint, he asserts that Chris Boozy, that would be Bot Sentinel, began going after him in September after Nate the lawyer and other so-called lawtubers had taken to quote-unquote sharing critical takes of the widely reported Bot Sentinel claims of widespread troll bot activity engaged in coordinated social media attacks on Now, this leads into the attacks singularly focused on Nate the lawyer, and what's crazy about this is Nate the lawyer questions the veracity of claims made by a paid benefactor, What does he get? He gets attacked by race. He gets attacked by disability. He has his credentials attacked and more. Look at this right here. Quote, amongst the purportedly false statements, Bot Sentinel, that would be Chris Boozy, attacked Nate the lawyer's quote-unquote veracity and professional qualifications, the complaint says. For example, in a September 17th tweet, you have Bot Sentinel's Chris Boozy allegedly stating in part, quote, I can't tell if the guy is a legit lawyer or just a social media lawyer, according to the complaint. And he went much farther down that rabbit hole, just a note. Now later, Bot Sentinel's Chris Boozy, quote-unquote, concedes to the falsity of his claims about plaintiff's background and credentials, but went on to accuse Nate the lawyer the next day, so September 18th, of being a Twitter troll and of being a grifter, the complaint says. Now, Chris Boozy, whose Twitter account allegedly gained followers as he attacked Nate the lawyers and others, sought to quote-unquote keep the pot bowling and quote-unquote played the trump card of social media engagement, the race card, referring to a series of tweets on September the 21st. So we're talking about 4 days into this attack. The complaint stated that, according to Boozy, Nate the lawyer, an African American, was jealous of the success he, Chris Boozy, had achieved, and his criticism of Chris Boozy and his business was motivated by nothing more or less than his desire to quote-unquote fit in with his Caucasian peers. And from there, he further deflects away from making all of this about Nate the lawyer now by trying to destroy Nate the lawyer. Totally, too, by saying that Nate the lawyer, he admitted to the planting of evidence on innocent criminal victims. And this says, he ignored comments from people. He took so much pleasure that he would ignore people saying, that's not what's being said here. I would say he didn't ignore that, by the way. He hid those comments. There's a difference. He knowingly saw them. He knowingly hid them from the public to push this narrative. Then he was sued with a cease and desist, which, well, he decided that he would ignore. This, like I said, being covered in the media at all, it seems like the perfect betrayal. I think more people, they will follow up on this too, because AH getting noted for attacking somebody for race, disability, and more, that's big news. But anyway, let me know what you think about this. And as always, I appreciate the heck out of you. You make this stuff work. Thank you. Can't say that enough. Want to help out the channel, by the way? Links are in the description. Check those out. You being here, though, biggest help of all. Thank you. Appreciate you. Ended here. See you soon.